Hi everybody. Welcome to SOCI 1010, section W02. I'm very thankful that you've enrolled in the course. First thing I want to emphasize, just as quickly as you possibly can, if you haven't done so, make a copy of the syllabus and then read it cover to cover. I have discovered over my time directing online courses that anywhere from 75 to 95% of the problems and concerns and issues that students have with my particular web-based class is related to the fact they've not read the syllabus thoroughly. Now, I realize the syllabus is lengthy, and it's possible as the first couple of pages you may find yourself going, boring. Stick with it. Read it all the way through. It's a contract between yourself and me. Furthermore, it lays out in, I think, quite a lot of detail all that is needed for you to do well in this particular course. Start off with information that you can find on the 4th page. What research highlights is necessary for students to perform well in online courses. You've got to set goals. Very, very important that you do that. My hope is that you'll see this course or come to appreciate it as more than just providing you 3 hours of credit and a grade. Education is a means to an end. I'm the first to accept and to acknowledge that point. But education can be valuable. There's a lot of stuff in this course that you can be able to use the rest of your life. Keep in mind again, you're going to have to keep up with reading. I've detailed that within the context of the syllabus. Again, don't just scan over the material. Read it. Read it for retention. In other words, I want you to be an active reader, not just running your eyes over the page. Get started as quickly as you can. There's a myth out there that somehow online courses are easier than regular face-to-face classes. Research indicates it's just the opposite. Primary reason, you got to provide the orientation, the commitment, the time. So get started as quickly as you can, because all of you have very, very busy lives. Set aside specific time to commit to this particular course. Plenty of time to study. And above all, if you encounter a problem, let me know. Now, I know some of you may very well be of the mindset as an undergraduate. Well, I'm not going to say anything to an instructor. He, she will think I'm foolish or stupid. I'll just keep my mouth shut. Don't think that way. I'm here to assist you. I'm not here to give you grief. You got too many people probably in your life, I know I do, who are more than willing to give me all kinds of grief, and they do it for free. You put your time, your energy, and your money into something. So if you've got a problem, let me know. Now, in addition, you don't have this in the syllabus, but I hope you will pay attention to it. Here are some suggestions for success, not only in this course, but I think in any course that you take. And you'll notice there's a bit of a carryover from what you'll find on page 4 in the syllabus. Set up some goals. What do you want from this class? Now, if you approach it from the standpoint of, I'm going to benefit from this class, I'm going to take something away beyond 3 hours of credit and grade, you're on the right track. Set up a plan. Again, you've got to set aside the time. You've got to apply yourself. That's an absolute requirement. I've had some students who've contacted me late in the semester and told me, I just put this off, and what do I do now? Well, by that particular point, it's literally almost too late. You've got to apply yourself. You've got to, again, focus. You've got to set aside the time. You've got to become committed. And take time. Make sure you understand what you've read and what you've studied. I would suggest as you are reading, once you read a section, if you notice almost all college textbooks, they're set up in the same way. You have a major heading, then subheadings. Once you've read a section, stop. Ask yourself this basic question. What did I just read? Now, I know that sounds simple, maybe even foolish to some of you. I had a bad habit as an undergraduate to read in one eye and write out the other. I didn't really relate it. I didn't really think about it. So if you don't have a clue as to what you just read, you're not reading actively. Furthermore, again, apply it, relate it. If you notice this point right here, take the time to determine if you've learned specific information. Best way to do that in a sociology course, come up with examples and illustrations of concepts and notions you've learned and relate those to your own life experiences. If you, again, hit a brick wall, I just don't have any of those experiences. What do I do? Can you think of scenes in a movie, a television program? I've even had students tell me, I really listened seriously to the lyrics of my favorite song, and I realized they highlighted some things that we focused on in this course. The quicker you can relate this, you can make it relatable to your life in some form or fashion. You're going to find that the concepts are easier for you to learn and, more importantly, for you to retain. Now, if you just really get to that point where you can't come up with anything, go to the text. Your author gives you usually 2 to 3 examples or illustrations of all of the major concepts that are covered. Also, this course is going to require you to think critically. Now, if you've heard that phrase and you've wondered, well, what exactly does that mean? I think this highlights more than anything else what's involved in the process. Be willing to ask questions. Question the answers. A lot of times people assume, well, I had this one experience, and therefore it's this way. Your experience might be quite different from somebody else. Always seek verification, support for any arguments or assumptions are made. Do those kinds of support verification elements exist? Or is this just something everybody assumes is correct? Be aware of the fact that all of us can be biased. Work on being open-minded. That might be one of the most significant demands of a sociology course. Likewise, be willing to examine, notice that last point, your arguments. Be willing to criticize and recognize again that maybe there are shortcomings. Maybe there are things that you hadn't considered. Because critical thinking is the key here. Now, a lot of people assume, well, if I critically think, I've got to give up my most basic values and you're going to try to brainwash me. I can guarantee you that's not the basis of critical thinking. Okay? You have the right for free choice. What I'm asking that you do is look at the broader picture. One of the things I'm going to introduce you to very quickly, the first video lesson, is a sociological imagination, looking at the broader picture. We live in a society that glorifies individualism, and many of us have come to believe that if we're successful or if we fail, it's due strictly to some individual qualities that we have or we lack. Now, in part, that may explain some degree of success and some degree of failure. But what the sociological imagination asks us to do is look at the bigger picture and recognize that larger, more complicated, elaborate social factors and locators can have a significant influence on how we think and how we behave. I'll introduce you to the fact that your decision to go to college was influenced by some of these larger social factors. Where you live, the United States of America, the time in which you live, 2018. But likewise, our age, our gender, and above all, our social class can open doors of opportunity, can close others. We don't often take these into account because we're, again, framed into thinking that any success or failure is only the result of individual factors. Now, individual factors can play a role, but that's only part of the story. So I welcome you aboard. I hope that you will find this a challenging, exciting, and above all, rewarding educational experience. I want to assist you in any way that I can. The syllabus is the key. Read it thoroughly. Give a lot of thought to these suggestions for success that we were discussing just a moment ago. And above all, contact me if you have questions or concerns. Again, I welcome you to the class. Hang in there, do the best that you can, and once again, I know I'm wearing this point out. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you.